Hey there, water signs. It's Rohini with Light and Quirk, here with a quick full moon reading. Hopefully this will be quick. I've been trying to keep it, the goal is 15 minutes or less. This is my third reading thus far. I've not gotten less than 15 minutes yet. So we'll see what happens this time. That's the goal though. Let's see what we have. As I was meditating on your group's energy, I heard the message that you guys are kind of chill right now and you're kind of like, I ain't got no worries. But it's not, you might not be being fully honest with yourself. And you might not have any worries because you just don't feel like addressing your worries right now. You've kind of smoothed over them because you're not in the mood to deal with emotions. You're not in the mood to deal with uprooting issues. You're not in the mood to deal with existing issues. So you just ain't got no worries right now. Not that that's the healthiest way of going about things, but it is indeed a tactic. So let's see. Okay, Spirit, what do you have for our water signs? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio for this full moon. So, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We'd never get done in 15 minutes if I let all those ride. Come on, Spirit, just give me a few. Thank you, I appreciate it. See what the divine has to say to you. I hope y'all are doing all right on this fine full moon. Hope you're taking care of yourself, and I hope you're doing the things that you hear your intuition telling you to do. Oh, okay, well, we'll keep those. All right, I guess that's it for what we got. Okay. Oh, yeah. So it's looking like you have a person in mind that you would like a longer lasting, more solid connection with. But there's some stuff in the way and some stuff that needs to end. Yeah, that's what needs to end. There's a lot of deception here. Lies and deception need to come to an end. You're both lying to yourself and this person. And it might even be more than one person because of some of these cards that are coming out here, but we'll talk about it. You might have Sagittarius in your chart or be dealing with a Sagittarius. But yeah, there are some loyalty issues afoot. So it's looking as though you have intentions of starting something new with someone that you have in mind. And it might be someone that you've already been with, potentially, but it also could be someone new altogether. But it feels like you're wanting to rekindle something with someone, but you're still not being honest. You've not been honest with yourself. You've not been fully honest with them. Part of the problem is here, they kind of know about it. They're kind of receiving divine insights and guidance themselves. So they have suspicions and they're would like to trust their intuition, but they would also like to trust you. So they're kind of in a conundrum, waiting on you to be the adult and the honest being that you're fully capable of being. That's what they're waiting on. Because we're kind of leading with some wishy-washy energy here with the Knight of Wands. Like, it's not too bad. There's some creativity, some fire, some spunk, but sacral chakra is kind of out of whack, I'm feeling here. Your sex drive might not be in full alignment with your creativity, and neither of those might be in alignment at all. I was just saying in another reading, your creative muscle and your sexual muscle are kind of the same muscle. So if you're feeling like creative blocks or creative stagnancy or hyper creativity even, you are likely mirroring similar things sexually. So if you've fallen into the hyper creativity, hypersexual side of things, then it's about finding some balance with your heart, within your heart space, because I'm seeing so much green here, which just screams at me about your heart chakra. And you were just not, and it's what I was talking about, that I heard while I was meditating on your group, is that you're not wanting to address the heart stuff. You have some emotional things that actually need to be addressed, need to be worked through, need to actually just be felt so that they can, like, get out of your system and not be an issue anymore. However, you're not allowing that to happen. You would rather lie to yourself and others and hope that it brings you some kind of peace and balance, but fundamentally it won't. Temperance is a major arcana, and it is about, balance and flow, and those are just things that you are not embracing right now. Because this big Seven of Swords energy right after this death and rebirth, because that's what needs to end. So we have all of this stuff that's trying to happen but can't until this stuff gets into alignment. And this innocent Knight of Cups down here, who's ready to offer his bouquet of roses to his loved one, that's you. That's you. You want this, and you want this. However, you're showing up like in this connection like this, and that's tough. And that's even the connection with yourself. So it's like you're wanting to just keep your options open. Like you care about this person, but you're wanting to keep your options open. And what's interesting about this is this was not meant to be a love reading. This was meant to, the intention that I meditated on and was hoping to set was for what should you be manifesting during this full moon? What should you be working on during this full moon? And it is across the board, all emotional stuff. It is all about relationships, all about loving yourself, which you also are struggling with. You struggle with finding validity, worth, and deserving in yourself, which is why it's so hard for you to be honest with other people. Once you can because confidence is a choice. Being honest is a choice. Healing even is a choice. Are those things easy? No, not at all. And in fact, can be some of the most harrowing things that you deal with in your adult life. However, they're so imperative and necessary. It can just be a matter of taking steps towards changing the behavior. So even if it's just a matter of you getting your journal out and writing down what it is that you need to be honest about, writing down the truths, writing out the stories, writing out about the heartbreaks that you've endured, writing out about the heartbreaks that you've caused. Those are the things that will help you turn the tide on this. Those are the things that will help you start to heal. That's how you take a bite out of this elephant. This deck here is a channel deck. You'll see they're handwritten because I channeled this with the help of my spirit team. I have 2 decks here that I'll be using. This one is the general deck. I'll just preface this by saying the spirit realm does not care about your feelings. So I channeled this deck, didn't even fully know what I had written until I went to do a reading for myself. And once I did a reading for myself, I saw some of the things that came out on the cards, and I was like, oh shit. Okay, was not ready for that. So there might be some very sharp messages in here. There's no cutting corners, biting tongues, any of that, because that's not what the spirit realm does. It's here for healing and authenticity, and that's what I'm also here for. Hopefully, that's my goal. So let's see what the spirit realm has for you. I hope you all get an opportunity to actually get outside and just be one with the full moon. Sorry guys, I cannot talk and count at the same time, and I admire anyone who can. But the full moon, this particular super full moon, which is actually the last one of the year, is maybe one that you should actually physically encounter. At minimum, spend some time looking at it through your window. But if you can actually stand outside for a few, yeah, it'd probably behoove you to do that. Oh yeah. A codependent situation may be keeping you from seeing your path clearly. And that's another thing that needs to die here. This codependency, that needs to end. It's part of why you might be feeling like you're so connected to this person or these people or this situation, or now I'm hearing, or a job. You might not be ready to quit a job because it might be a codependent situation. Improve or strengthen your organizational skills. So that's not even just physical organization. Never mind, we can talk about the 300 emails that you have yet to open and or sort, but it's not necessarily all about that, although that's really important, guys. Get that done. Clean up your emails. And your inboxes. Get that together. But also, organizing your thoughts, organizing your day, having an actual morning routine, having routines at all, and just not flying by the seat of your pants all the time. Like, that can be fine, and it can feel freeing, and it can make you feel even more, it can even make you feel more independent. However, living in chaos will just bring more chaos. If you're putting chaotic energy out, you're going to receive chaotic energy back. Fall a little deeper in love with yourself, and I was talking about that too. This heart chakra that you need, your heart space, your emotional space. Once you start to be honest with yourself, about yourself, and love yourself as you are, right where you are, then you will be able to fall deeper in love with yourself, because you will start to see the redeeming qualities in yourself, and we all have them. The problem, the tricky situations that we fall into are when we don't realize the redeeming qualities in ourselves, and we just continue to live in a place of woe is me, I'm not good enough. And a lot of that is outer narratives. So I challenge you all to talk to yourself like you would talk to the child version of you. And I say this all the time when I counsel. Talk to yourself, your inner narrative, what you would say out loud to 7-year-old you. What did 7-year-old you need to hear? How did that child need to be validated, heard, seen, loved? Talk to yourself that way. Self-awareness, embrace it. Big loud message here, guys. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to be aware of yourself. You need to embrace your actual self. And yes, self-awareness can be a tricky, dodgy one, but you need to embrace it. Because also, at the root of it all, your love changes people. It heals. Because your heart is actually in the right place. It's just been wounded. And some of those wounds have been self-inflicted, which means you're the best person to help heal them. And at the bottom here, time to start looking for another job. Wow. So yeah, you may need to, didn't we just talk about that? Yeah. About you potentially being codependent to your job. You may need to just look for another job. In fact, that might help you love yourself more, because it might be some of your coworkers and bosses and feedback from work that is feeding the negative narrative that you are telling yourself. All right. We're going to finish up with the love deck here. And thank you guys for hanging in here with me. I know I stutter. I say things wrong. I have the best of intentions, guys, but my brain and my whole self actually is just wired a little differently, and I just don't get things right all the time. My brain and mouth aren't always in sync, It's why I prefer to write things down, and it's another reason why I took so long to start pumping out videos. But thank you guys again for hanging in there with me. Let's see what this love deck has to say. It's just as snarky as the general deck, so sorry, not sorry. And let's see what we have here. Okay. All right. I don't have to count these out, so that's good. So let's see. Coming out right away. It's got a few more. That's what I'm hearing. Whoop, whoop. Yep. All right. Okay, so again, this is the love deck. So this is about relationships. Maybe you're in a relationship. Maybe you have a prospect ahead of you. Could be this person that you just can't get out of your system. But this also could be messages to yourself. Stop bringing up old shit. Reaching back into the past for ammunition is a sign that you need to heal. If that is a behavior that you are participating in, you've really got to find a new way to cope. You don't like people bringing up old shit on you or using your past as ammunition towards you. So let's try not to do that to others. And if you're allowing someone to continually do that to you, take some time to meditate, come into alignment with yourself, your higher self, your spirit team, whatever you consider your higher source, so that you can get the tools and the confidence to put that shit to an end. Because that's not okay. You don't deserve to be spoken to or treated like that. Now that you're healed and healing, you've outgrown this connection. So because you're here, that means you are taking steps in your healing journey, which is a beautiful, wonderful thing, and we're going to celebrate that every time. But it is also okay to walk away from those people who are not also healing or have that as a priority. But I'm also hearing that there are people around you potentially who have been healing and growing, and they no longer relate to you. You're taking this personally, but they're just trying to continue on their journey. It's not about you. It's more about them and coming to alignment with their inner self. So now that you're healed and healing, now that they're healed and healing, you know, you might be growing in different directions, particularly if your bond started over trauma. So if you were trauma bonding, and if some of these connections are like, you got along so well because you both shared that you were sexually abused, or you both shared that you ran the streets and, you know, lived that fast life, or maybe you were both addicts or things like that. And now that you've grown out of those places and those are no longer ways that you identify yourself, that bond is not as strong, and you may be you may be outgrowing the connection, or vice versa. Create grounding rituals. So yeah, that could be as simple as carrying dark or black stones with you. Black stones will be protection, dark stones will be grounding. And that could just be a thing that you need to do. Maybe you need to go outside and stand barefoot in the grass. Tonight would be a perfect time to do that. What better way to ground than under the full moon? And now we're back to this Three of Cups situation coupled with this Seven of Swords, trying to find some peace in the middle. Maybe stop sneaking around with them and you'll be able to sleep better. Right back to being honest. If you are not being honest with yourself or the person that you claim to care about and love, you really need to do that, because it's so hurtful for both of you, because you want that connection. You value that connection, but there are hurts and wounds in yourself and in your history that are keeping you from being fully honest about everything. Your hobbies and interests should be in the front seat with your relationship, not in the back. So if you have been If your hobbies and interests have taken a back seat to your philandering with all of these people, then that is out of order. So, and if you're in a committed relationship and you've realized that you are more consumed with the relationship rather than your own well-being and direction, then that also needs to change. Because your hobbies and interests will help you heal. They can't sit in the back seat of your codependent relationship. And your codependent relationship needs to end anyway, especially because you're not being honest. And it's codependency will never serve you properly. It is just a mask. It is an unhealthy coping mechanism. It's fear personified. Not confronting this is breeding resentment and pain. That's what this one says. Not confronting this is breeding resentment and pain. And that's what you're causing by not being honest with yourself or the people around you that you love and care about. You could be causing resentment and pain to yourself because of yourself. Starting to resent yourself for your behavior, and that's just bringing your vibration lower and lower when you're actually worthy and deserving, and you're talented and creative, and you have so much going for you, and you've already dealt with a lot and been through a lot. And so we should actually be celebrating those things rather than condemning ourselves. So that's all I have for you. I did not make it under 15 minutes, but that's okay. Everything happens for a reason. And just remember that Sophia was the best golden girl.